credit you. All right. Hello, everybody. LSD Jesus from Streamer House here. And today I've been getting a lot of questions about Lightning Wizard. What do you play? How do I build my Lightning Wizard? What's going on? How is your beam blue when you're an Archon? All that fun jazz. So I'm finally going to sit down and make a video for you guys on what exactly is going on with the Talrash's Lightning Wizard. I'm going to have to give a little bit of credit here to Sparky Twitch. He kind of gave me the kick in the ass and the motivation to do this. So credit to him. So first of all, Lightning Wizard. What exactly is going on with Lightning Wizard? All of your damage is coming from the Mantle Heal Ring. This is literally 99% of your damage is that proc from your Mantle Heal Ring. So this build will not work unless you have this ring. That is the key part of the build, is the ring. That's where all of your damage is coming from. And what it does is it hits enemies for anywhere from 13,000 to 14,000% weapon damage whenever you paralyze them, which is a passive skill that wizards have that it's a 20% chance on attack with lightning spells, or 15%, my bad, with lightning spells to stun them. So 15% chance to proc 13,000 to 14,000 weapon damage. And everything else in the build is about buffing that damage. So, how are we going to buff that damage? We're going to run Talrash's 6 set, which makes it so every attack you do with a different element increases your damage by 750% for 8 seconds. So you're going to get 4 stacks of that, and it's going to multiply the damage of your paralyze, or additive. It jacks the damage. I'm not sure if it's multiplicative, additive, whatever. We're also going to run Veers. We're going to run Veers 4 set, and we're going to be running Royal Ring in the Cube. These 2 sets right here is going to jack up your damage, and it's just going to make your ring hit really, really freaking hard. I've seen upwards of couple trillions, literally trillions of damage coming out of this build. So, that's the build. You're going to want Talrash's 6 set, and you're going to want Veers 4 set. You can mismatch these pieces whatever which way you need, as long as you're using Talrash's chest piece. You can't use a Veer's chest. You want Talrash's because they always roll the attack speed. So what is our stat priority going to be? First of all, your stat priority is going to be cooldown reduction. You need cooldown reduction. The majority of the builds, you want to be around 63% CDR, which means you're going to have to put cooldown reduction on every single piece of gear that can have cooldown, which is your weapon, your offhand, both rings, your gloves, your shoulders, and your amulet. All of that needs cooldown reduction as much as humanly possible. As you can see right now, I'm sitting at 64.4. Second, you're going to want crit chance. Then you're going to want crit damage. And then attack speed for N tier builds. Before that, you're actually going to want a little bit of attack speed because it'll help proc your ring off from your laser beams. The biggest thing is having attack speed on your weapon. You want to have 1.5 attacks on your second. Or 1.5 attacks on your second. 1.5 attacks per second on your weapon. So you want to have attack speed on your weapon. That's a big deal, actually. So let's go over the skills real quick. For speed farming build, I run Blizzard Snowbound, Arcane Torrent, Static Discharge. These are for when you're outside of Archon. All right, and then for my buffs, you're going to want Magic Weapon Deflection and Energy Armor Force Armor. These will keep you alive. You're going to run Teleport with Calamity. That's actually kind of a big deal because A, the stuns enemies so they're not hitting you. It procs your Ancient Parthian Defenders, and the biggest thing is it's arcane damage. And then Archon Combustion because it's fire. Now, the Veers 2 set gives Archon every rune, which means you need to have lightning damage on your bracers in order for your beam to be blue. Therefore, answering the age-old question, why is your beam blue and my beam red? There you go. So for passives, you're going to want Unstable Anomaly, which is your cheat death. You're going to want Evocation, which is CDR. Paralyze, which is all of your damage. And then Power Hungry, because you deal more damage to enemies that are farther away. And it pairs up very nicely with an item that you need for the build to work, which is the Starfire Wand. So, getting into your cube. Your cube can run a couple different variants for weapons, but for armor, you're gonna need the Swarmy Helmet, which allows your Archon stacks to last for 20 seconds after your Archon's done, which is your toughness, your survivability, and a big damage boost, actually, when you pop your second Archon. And then Royal Ring in this slot. Now, you can actually run a Royal Ring of Grandeur and cube a Mantle Heal if you really need to. That isn't exactly the worst combo. It's not ideal, though, because you're going to be missing out on either crit chance, crit damage, or cooldown reduction, one of those three. And you kind of want all three. So, but the weapons in the cube is either going to be A, the Starfire, which gives you lightning damage increased for distance from your target. The Aether Walker, which makes it so your teleport no longer has a cooldown but costs arcane power. If you're there to kill Rift Guardians, you're going to want to use a Serpent Sparker and the Aether Walker combo or a Starfire, depending on your playstyle. Or for speed farming, you could always use an Ingeome. So the weapon variants on this build are very interesting depending on what you're trying to do. If you're killing white trash, if you're in a group, then you're going to want to use Aether Walker, Starfire. If you're there to kill Leap Packs and the Rift Guardian, then you're going to want to use a Serpent Sparker. And obviously, you're going to need Hydras on your bar instead of Arcane Torrent. Now, the differences between the speed farming build and the push build are, it's a whole different play style. Right now, my skills are actually set up for the speed farming build. So instead of Convection of Elements, I'd be running Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. Therefore, when I'm outside of Archon, Arcane Torrent is literally just going to reset my Archon instantly. This is for speed farming. You usually use Bane of the Trap when you're speed farming because you don't need to get stricken stacks. Your other legendary gems are going to be Guguk. You're going to use this in every build. It gives you CDR, and the attack speed is pretty nice. The dodge is really nice. But it's mainly the CDR. You want to have cooldown reduction. This gives you 15%. Zai's Stone of Vengeance is your other big one. You will always use these two legendary gems. Zai's gives you damage increased by the distance from your target. Big damage. Big damage. And then for pushing greater rifts, you're going to have Bane of the Stricken. Now notice I actually socketed those two. I keep my Trapped in my Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac just because I always use Trapped when I'm speed farming. You don't use Obsidian Ring when you're pushing. Convection of Elements. You use this when you're actually pushing high tier greater rifts, and you use Stricken when you're pushing high tier greater rifts. So I just do it that way. So with the speed farming build, say I'm going to approach some mobs, the way you would set it up is you're going to cast your Blizzard. 1 stack of Talrashas. All right? You're going to teleport. 2 stacks of Talrashas. You don't have to hit Lightning first, but there's 3 stacks, and then Archon. Now I have 4 stacks of Talrashas. So for the next couple seconds, I am doing huge damage. And there you go. That's your speed farming build. Teleport around, beam everything, teleport around, beam stuff, teleport around, beam stuff. Right? Now for the push build, we're going to switch from Obsidian Ring to COE. We're going to switch our main skills too. This is going to get interesting. You're going to run Black Hole, Spell Steal, and you're going to run, oh, where is it? Magic Missile with Glacial Spike. Now the biggest thing here is when you're outside of Archon. The biggest thing is when you're outside of Archon with this push build. All right? So you're going to be Glacial Spiking. This is going to be A, keeping your Guguk stacks up. It's also going to be giving you some lifesteal, and it also freezes enemies, which helps proc your Ancients, but mainly you're going to be proccing your Ancients from your Teleport Calamity, which stuns everybody. So outside of Archon, you're going to be spiking, you're going to be teleporting, and you're going to be spiking, and you're going to be teleporting, and you're going to be grouping enemies up is the biggest thing. You're going to want to teleport around in a triangle pattern. So, and what this does is it causes mobs to run around in a circle trying to chase you down, therefore staying in a nice, big, pretty group. So you're going to group them all up. You're going to be glacial spiking. You're going to be teleporting. right? And then you're gonna, right before, on a fire rune, when your COE's on fire, you're gonna pop your black hole, which is gonna activate Spell Steal, which gives you a huge boost of damage, and you're gonna wanna pop Archon on fire. Not because the bonus damage from fire, but because right after fire is your lightning. And this build is literally all about 8 seconds of damage. And then you literally spend the next time looking for another elite packs, grouping up more density, and waiting until your next Archon phase for huge Archon explosion lightning damage. So, you know, you'd beam everything down, and then you'd literally just make sure you keep beaming while you're looking for other packs to keep your Gugik stacks up. So, and this is actually the most complicated part of the build, is the Greater Rift push build. The speed build, you literally just run around and blow shit up. Literally, that's what you're gonna do. We'll just hop into a normal Rift real quick. Just to kind of give you a feel for what this, the push build looks like, because this is the toughest one to figure out. Oh, wow, we got double elite pack. That's kind of funny. So, we're gonna teleport into these guys. It would probably help if I put my gems in my gear. Just to show you all what's going on here. Just give me a second. I wasn't actually planning of actually showing you what's going on, but it's kind of easier to show what happens than to explain it. Then we got some pretty mean mob types too. These blow darters are kind of mean. So if you notice, I'm gonna skip this lightning cycle on my COE. The thing is I didn't have 15 stacks of Gugik, which is a big deal. So we're gonna skip that cycle. We're grouping stuff up. And of course I teleported into bad, because this is a great video and I'm the best player in the world. No, really, we just got really bad mob types. Double elite pack really makes it kind of a pain to start off. So once stuff's kind of grouped up, you pop your Archon, and literally just deleted everything. You know? Literally just deleted everything on the screen. That was a double elite pack, dead instantly. Now, you know, T13, but honestly, that happens in like Greater Rift 85. No joke, Greater Rift 85, you'll just delete those mobs. Oh crap, and we got a resub. But yeah, that's... But yeah, that's generally how the build is played out. It was kind of tough to show it off right there, right at the very start, because starting out is the toughest part. If you have issues starting out, one thing I noticed is when you enter a rift, enter it on cold, and you can pop your Archon on cold without Gugik stacks, and then it'll be set up for a COE cycle. But I think I showcased it pretty decently there. Those are some pretty bad mob types, double elite pack, no Archon stacks for toughness. So you can see how the build actually puts itself together. And that's the biggest thing. So just a quick recap. You want Tel Rasha's 6 set. You want Veer's 4 set. You need lightning damage on your bracers. You have to have a Mandel heal. And you run Paralyze. All of your damage is coming from the Paralyze proc. And yeah, you know, sorry that my little demonstration kind of got ruined by double elite pack right off the very start. Couldn't really set anything up. Those are some pretty mean little mobs there. Normally I would just pop Archon and blast through, but even on T13 I'd be running my speed build. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Hopefully that at least helps you out a little bit. A nice big little trick, I know I mentioned it, is teleporting in triangle patterns. Once you have your density grouped up, make sure you're doing triangle patterns. It causes the mobs to run in circles, and they stay grouped up, and it takes them longer to try to catch you. So anyway, guys, thank you all. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. Peace. All right.